BBN, Jack Frost, how's everybody doing today? Today we got another episode of the WokeCast, and as usual, I'm here with my co-host
Corey King. What's up, y'all?
And today we have had the pleasure of having an artist here, and he's sitting with us. Introduce yourself, my brother.
It's the Holy One, King P, man. I'm here.
Okay, and you're here alone. This is.
Yeah, I'm by myself. Nah, man. This is my business manager, my partner. I'm one of my good friends, Vash, my manager. And we just here, doing what we do.
All right,
And what's your name, brother?
Vosh. They call me Vosh.
Vosh. I told you I wouldn't get him to talk.
He the silent type. You mime.
Okay.
Look intelligent, though. Yeah, I see the eyes, the intelligence, so like I said, you're a good manager.
Thank you.
He's a thinker.
Mm.
I'm assuming this at this point.
Yeah.
All right, so real quick question. So you do hip hop music, correct?
I am. I make hip hop music. Yeah, but I just don't limit myself to that alone. I have I also dive into the popish records and stuff like that.
But nowadays you have to do that.
Yeah, you got to be very versatile. And I've always been versatile from when I started making music because I grew up on different types of music: West Indian music, pop music, reggae, soca, country, you name it. Once it moved me and once it was a vibe, that was it. So I make sure I give the same type of energy when I make my music. Once it's a vibe, and once I'm in my lane with it.
Okay, that's what's up. So just because I'm curious, if I wanted to ask you who were some of the people that actually encourage the type of music that you listen to, like the actual artists, who would you say?
Ludacris, Eminem, Kanye, Fabulous, Barris Hammond. Yeah, those are the tip of the iceberg. As far as art goes and just their creativity and their wit and just their penmanship and all of that good stuff.
Well, coincidentally, you named, at least from the rappers, I'm assuming from both sides, you named individuals that are extremely good at using words.
Yeah.
So, I could already tell, and I've heard you actually perform before, so
yeah.
I already know that the actual words that you use is important to you because nowadays, I'm not trying to drag anybody, but nowadays in hip hop, it seems like actual lyrics isn't important.
It doesn't matter. I literally, there was an artist on IG that I seen and he put the lyrics up to his music and he was singing and the chorus was longer than the verse.
Wow. And
it perplexed me. I'm just never in the life of have I seen a four bar verse and a 16 chorus. I'm just okay, so obviously, because the game now is you have to have a slamming beat and the chorus has to be popping. So now you forget everything else. All right, well, you got the chicken and you got the pot, but you don't got no seasoning. Right. You know what I mean? So it just becomes one of those things where it's all right, cool, but when I eat it, it's gonna be terrible.
It looks good though.
Right, but it's trash. There's no substance. So in the same token, I know it's evolving, but it still needs to evolve in a way where sonically, yeah, the sound is different, which is good. It's good for the culture. I completely love that, but you still have to keep that lyricism in it. And I feel the line to walk of lyricism and commercial is so thin, and a lot of people can't walk that line because that takes a lot of balance and it takes a lot of patience to do so. I literally would Google things if I don't know.
Yeah.
If it's a word and I'm just well, it sounds nice, but wait, let me make sure that what I'm trying to get across is actually the definition of the word. And, I'll Google, that's not beneath me. And I'm 10 years into making music. That's not beneath me at all to do that.
Google's the new Encyclopedia Britannica.
That's true. And it's just you're writing your notes in your phone, right? So everybody always says you have this smartphone, but you're a dumb person because you have it in your hand and you're not utilizing it properly. If I don't know something, why am I asking someone let me? But people are so lazy now, to their detriment, where they don't even want to look things up. I'm just why would you? But yeah. So ultimately, just music and stuff, just the way I put everything together, I just make sure it makes sense. Even my brand, my album is called Holy University. It's an ode to the old Kanye, right? And that set a whole precedent of. It just gave you a whole feel. So with Holy University, it's spelled HOELY. And HOE stands for humble over everything. So in school, you learn, right? You go through different subjects where you learn. So that, with me, it's just more of a situation where you're going through life experiences and life is teaching you how to more so humble yourself. So that's like the experience people are going on with me in this journey through like Holy University. So it's like parts into my life, and then also the music is dope. So it's just, it blends. It's well thought out. It's well thought out, but it wasn't something that was forced. It was extremely organic, you know, so yeah.
Okay. A second ago, for everybody that don't know, he's actually wearing a Holy University shirt also.
I am.
So
yeah.
he has his merch on. Shout out to him. I wear my merch too. Let's get it. Just so we could be clear on these things. So a second ago, I heard you speak about music and how it sonically has to be pleasing, but also at the same time it has to have substance. That's basically what I think you were saying.
Right.
So a while back, Joe Buttons, shout out to Joe Buttons, he was getting into it with Eminem or something was happening.
Yeah, I don't understand they beef. I don't.
I don't either. But one of the things that Joe Buttons was trying to say is that Eminem is just a rapidy rapper. That he just says, I'm not saying I agree with him, but what he's saying is he just says things that sound, I guess, sonically pleasing, but it doesn't have any substance to it. I want to know what your opinion on that is.
Well, for one, I mean, Buttons, I feel like he's clickbait, right? Because he's a Virgo, right? I'm Virgo. Virgos, like, they're very, like, they're manipulative with certain things because they know what attracts attention. So, for instance, like with HOE, it's like, oh my God, what that mean? And then it's like, yeah, I brought you in this clickbait, I got you, but it's something positive. So with him, it's just like he was signed underneath M, like with Slaughterhouse, they were signed under M. So maybe it's something personally that he more so knows that we don't. But from listening to M, there was one album that was terrible. That was, even M admitted it was trash, and I'm an M fan.
Super trash.
I don't know if it was Recovery.
Recovery.
I think it was Recovery.
That's
Terrible.
the one where he was just walking.
Oh my God. No. Was it? No. Well, Recovery was Not Afraid and all of that on there, right?
I don't know. I think it was Recovery though. I think that's the one that he said that he didn't like.
But it was one that was trash. But what he does now is he still says things that are like, I'm like, whoa, okay. But I guess because it comes across in a package of a bunch of words.
Yeah.
So it's just like, but you gotta listen. And what's crazy is listening to Slaughterhouse, they're like the creation, like it's like they're M's creation in a sense, but they all kind of rap the same. Okay. Like all of them rap the same, where they're all lyrical with what they say. But I mean, it's just it's different strokes for different folks.
That's
so
a fact.
You know, with M, I mean, lyrically he's still top 5 to me. So I'm cool with that. Like
Somebody said revival, not recovery.
Revival?
Right, yeah, because Recovery was like, okay, right, because Recovery.
Shout out to whoever said that.
Thank you. Yeah, that was a terrible album. That was terrible. It was a terrible album. And as an M fan, I was trying to give it a listen. Like, you know, you try to be like, M good.
It's Nigel said that. I'm like, good looking, it's Nigel. Appreciate it.
Shout out to Miss Nitro.
I was just like, I was sitting here, I'm just like, M, what's wrong with you? I'm like, what's wrong with you? But sometimes you gotta put out your own work to know that it's not as popping as, you know, you once thought it was. Like, my first album that I put out, called Who Mans Is That? I listen to it now. I mean, where I was at, I'm just like, yeah. Now I'm just like, what you was doing?
Well, first of all, just from the name of the album and from what I've seen you present since I've known you, I would not be one to think that you would put out an album called Who Mans Is That? You understand what I'm saying? Not no slight on your actual character, but just that doesn't seem like the type of energy that you put out since I've met you.
The funny thing, so why I named it that, because I use a lot of basketball analogies, like sports references. So I explained it as, you know, when you go on the court and like somebody started playing and you getting cooked. Yeah. Right? So, everybody, who mans is that?
Yeah, that's a fact.
Like, whose man is that? So that was like why I named it that, because I'm just like, I'm going to cook everyone and I'm nobody. So it was just like, who mans is that? Okay. So that's why, you know, it was named that. I mean, it was cool for what it was. Like,
more of an ironic title.
Right. I'm like, it was cool for what it was, but like, I listen back, and if you can't give yourself criticism as an artist and like critique your own work, then there's no growth for you.
But what was your lane on that album though?
Nah, still hip hop. It was still hip hop. Like, I had this party record called "Take It to the Head" featuring Mousy Baby. Yo, free my guy Mousy. And like, that was like a really, really dope record. We did like a good couple of numbers as far as YouTube views for the video. like 5,000, but this was like way before social media was booming. And I have like some melodic tones on there, but sonically, like, you know, sometimes when you kind of want certain things but you're not able to get it, so you just kind of settle for what you have.
Yeah.
So like certain productions, I kind of like settled for it, and I'm just like, I'll make the best out of it instead of like really trying to reach and say, nah, I need this, I need that. So, but it's still good. Like, I still listen to some of the joints from them. It's like, my wit is still there. You know, like, my pen is always strong. Like, my pen is always on point. So, like, I'm like, it's cool. It's cool. It ain't what I got now, but but it's cool. And you gotta be honest with yourself, because even like going back to M literally slandered himself and bashed himself on his latest album, Kamikaze, where he was just like, it was like, I know it was trash, and that was that, you know. So
But you Vosh, you gotta see me some links so I can check your boy out, man.
yeah,
I did.
No, send them to me.
You send it to him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we just meeting for the first time.
Okay.
but yeah, so it's just one of those things where like as time goes, like, you're still gonna evolve. You're still gonna, you know, especially with like life experiences, because who I was then is not the same person I am now. You know, the charisma that I have, the confidence, just the overall thought process that I have. There's certain things that I'd have gotten angry about back then that I just let roll over my shoulder. So it's just different. It's just completely different in a good way. I mean, I still like it. I think I'm gonna bump that later today. I feel like I have to. I feel like I have to.
Send me some links. I'm gonna pull it up and I'm gonna sit down and I'm gonna
As you should. Listen to
old to new.
Listen to old King P. Listen to old King P, man.
So one thing that we still haven't, that we spoke about was, so what's your opinion of what the whole, not the beef itself, but do you think that Eminem, I'll tell you what my opinion is first, so you can see that I'm not trying to trap you. You know how people do people. Personally, I think that I'm a Rakim fan. So I love what Eminem is doing. I love his type of music. I love his type of raps. But the average individual that you ask them who their top 5 rappers are, they'll leave Eminem out. And it won't be because they don't think he's a great rapper. It'll be because he kind of doesn't look like the rest of us. So it's not on purpose. Like, I've caught myself when people say, who's your top 5 rappers? I'll leave Eminem out, and then I think about it after the fact, but like, hold on. There's no Eminem in here.
Right.
I mean, because I'm going to say Rakim first. That's my man. All right? Nas, I'm going to say, then you got Biggie, and then you got Tupac. And Biggie and Tupac is in my top 5. A lot has to deal with a lot has to deal with their impact over short and time.
Right.
So I'm not saying that I think that they're the top 5 rappers as far as lyrically better than other people.
Right.
But I'm saying that these individuals had a really big impact in hip hop over a very short amount of time. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
So that's why I would put them there. And then next, who do you put? Do you put them on Steph? You understand what I'm saying?
And I feel like,
That's how I feel how you judge, right? This is my opinion. You can tell me if I'm wrong, right? You don't just go by if he's lyrically inclined. It's the message. Every artist has a message. Even Biggie dropped a message. Remember the Black Panther soundtrack? Everybody drops a message in their lane. But what can be played in the club as well, though? You can't find an Eminem record that can be played in the club.
That's a fact. That's a good
Not
point.
one. You're not gonna be in the club. Hi, kids. You like rhymers? Want to see me put 90s L in each one of my
no, you're 100%.
You're not playing that.
And the crazy thing about it is,
You know what I mean?
that, like, and to that point, I feel like that's one of the reasons why also I'm like, for me in particular, why he's in my top, because he didn't have any club records and he's still multi-platinum. And granted, because we know, right, that plays a part. We got it. But ultimately, like, for me, you said impact, and I also feel depends on how it impacts the individual. So, like the Slim Shady LP, to me, I was in 7th grade, back when we had the Discman, and like, you know, I used to run a hole through that CD because emotionally, like M then, he was just so raw emotionally about any and everything, right? And it's just like he wasn't afraid to express his emotions. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like it was just one of those things where he just sat there and, like, if I woke up today and I was mad at my mom, I'm making a song about it. If I woke up today and, like, I was mad that my boss didn't cut my check, I'm making a song about it. I've always admired artists that are so open to letting you into each and every aspect of their lives and like of their personality. So like why Ludacris is in mine, because Ludacris, however he felt, like make whatever music if he woke up and it was Saturday, it's Saturday, I'm turning up, you know. But then even if he sat there and he made like a song about him going through a lot, he made it. Same thing with Fab. Fab is just, I mean, his tone doesn't fully change, but he'll talk about many different things. Kanye, we know Kanye. Come,
Fab
like,
dog though.
A beast.
Say his name respectfully.
A
Say
beast.
Fab,
No. Nah, Fab is it like Fab
That's
goes.
a dog.
Fab
Man,
is in
go
my
back to-
Fab is in my five.
There's summertime and wintertime shootouts. Clue.
Yeah,
He ate food.
yeah. Big
Nobody-
jerseys was because of Fab.
He threw a shot at Mace, and Mace heard it and was like,
Right. I'ma
that.
take it. I'ma take it.
eat that.
But Fab doesn't get thrown in a lot of people's five.
I agree.
Like especially, and what's crazy is especially from Brooklyn, like a lot of people be like he would not even sniff their top five, and that's crazy to me.
nah, he wildin'.
No, I'm saying like every time I mention Fab, everybody, oh yeah, that's a weird list. Because I'll say anytime they ask me like what's your influences, I'll say Ye, Fab, M, Luda, off back, and they'll be like, well, that's a weird mix.
It's a weird mix.
But when I break it down, and then it's like they understand. So to answer your question, as far as like M being like he's still lyrical, yeah, but he doesn't have much to rap about anymore. Like he doesn't have much to talk about. Where like the content is kind of gone. M's like career was solely based on his own demons. So when he made the last album, the reason why it was like way better because he was able to attack himself.
So, good point. Could you agree, or what's your opinion on that? It seems like hip hop music is just better when it comes from a place of pain. What's your opinion on that?
I want to say a place of heightened emotion, but I can mean that in a dark way or like in a light way. Like if I'm extremely happy, like extremely happy, I might make like the most popping club record because I'm so happy.
Let me ask a question not to cut you off. Where you from?
Brooklyn,
You from Brooklyn, what part?
Crown Heights, Flatbush.
All right,
Once you're from
that's
Brooklyn, I'm
my
from
height,
Brooklyn,
that's my height.
right?
I'm from Flappers. But my thing is, I asked you that because you said heightened emotion, but he agreed to pain, right? You come from Gunsmoke, Crown Heights, Flappers. That's all the same to me. Gatbush, the Heights. You know what I mean? But my thing is, like, I agree with him. I think more so pain and starvation than anything. You know what I mean?
That's why I said like heightened emotion because it can because you going through pain is a heightened emotion. Like you're not balanced at that point. You're not balanced, right? Because like everything takes balance. So when pure anger takes over, you might just be able to write a whole album, put a whole album together. If like if you're purely happy. So I agree. I'm just like more so heightened emotion on any physical scale because growing up around there and just seeing the things that I've seen, ultimately I decided to dive into the poetry. Poetry for me was like my way of dealing with what I was dealing with.
That's what I was about to do that next. Like, was you always an artist, or did it start from poetry and then? Yeah,
it started from like in second grade. I wrote a short story, and I went like it was a competition, and I ended up like placing second in the nation for like a creative short story, and like for me, I always look back at that because I feel like that was extremely important to who I am as an individual. To know that at that age I was able to tell a story. And as I started, making poetry and stuff, because middle school for me was, I know a lot of people think when you're in middle school, it's just like whatever. Like you don't deal with anything emotionally. Like you're going to puberty, you're going through puberty, you're kind of coming into your own a little bit. Like as an adolescent, you're not a man, but you coming into a different transformation, and there was a lot of emotions that I was dealing with. And growing up West Indian, like as a guy, you can't have those emotions. You know what I mean? Like you can't feel, you can't express that. If I came to my mom and I'm just like, oh mom, get out my face, like it would be one of those things where she would more so speak to my sisters. My sisters going through something, she'll sit and she'll talk with them. But like as far as a guy, You can't have those emotions. You can't feel. You feel sad? All right, go outside and play. You be all right. You know what I mean?
I was just actually having a conversation before this meeting, before this interview, and we was talking, and that was actually a point that we hit on, and I agree with you 100%. We live in a culture, not just the West Indian culture, but just in
general,
America, where men, we can't express disappointment, we can't express pain. We always supposed to every time something happens, we supposed to pull our bootstraps up and just walk right through it. And I think that kind of sometimes is the reason why people gravitate to certain music, because even though you can't cry, that music could cry for you.
Yeah.
I think hip hop is the music of survivalists.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's the way that I'm, comprehending a
Yeah.
little bit the topic.
Literally, when I was writing poetry, like I feel like if I didn't have it, I probably would have lashed out in so many different ways. You know what I mean? Like, and so I gravitated more towards, to your point, to artists that spoke from a portion of pain. So like the Slim Shady LP was my 7th grade life. Like I would bump that all the time. You know what I mean? Because he was so angry.
He was raw. He was raw.
And it was just like, and I'm just like, I'm so angry. I feel you. I would have tied somebody up and put them in the trunk. But, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
I didn't do it though. But I'm just disclaimer.
Allegedly.
Listen, man, no self-implications. So it was just one of those things where like all of those, like those help mold me. So like me having a son, like I have my son, and even like if I see in his face something is wrong, I ask what's up. I'm like, talk to me.
That's a fact.
Talk to me. Because there's no way in hell I'm going to let you go outside and like run with the street runners. There's no way that I'm going to let you sit here and feel like you cannot speak to the people that you live with. Like you look up to me, well, talk to me. I understand that daddy may bottle his emotions up. That's because that's how I was raised. And it's like I'm still trying to change that. But I have my outlets, which is, music. So when I do a show, when I'm in the studio, I feel amazing. That's therapy to me. That's therapy to me. So with him, I'm just like, well, right now, until you find who you are, because you, even at a young age, you still kind of know who you are. It's the parents that kind of mess that up for you.
That's a fact.
You know what I mean? Like, so when I look back and I'm like, I said, like when I look back at 2nd grade, I'm just like, well, I was a writer. My mom should have seen then. Okay, now it's something about that. It's something about that. Let me harp on that. But no, because you have to have the American dream. You got to chase that. You being a creative is just not going to happen.
I'm gonna agree with you on a couple of points that you just made, but the number one thing that I'm gonna agree with you that I believe you're trying to say is that sometimes us as parents, we don't encourage the things that we should encourage because of our own experiences in life. So you might have a child that's like, yo, that's the thing that the child wants to do, but you yourself might think that this isn't an avenue that because you don't want your child to fail.
Yeah, Hov said it when like you basically reflect your fears on somebody else. Like I think he said his uncle told him he'll never make a mill. Right? Like it was some story where his uncle said he'll never make a mill. And he looked at his uncle's like, no, you'll never make a mill. But it's the same thing. Like I look back and sometimes you reflecting on yourself and reflecting on your family's like past, it helps you to get over certain things and break certain generational curses. That's been the things that's been thrown around so much. But a lot of people are afraid to actually attack that because it's like, I might as well just go with the stream. Might as well swim with everybody else. Like, it's so much smoother. But it's different when you really decide to, like, walk in your purpose and follow your light and just follow who you are. It's hard because when you're doing that, you're not following any blueprint other than faith, in a sense. You're, like, moving blindly. But you just have to be willing to do that if you want to break away from the norm. If not, then make yourself suffer, and it'll just be a reoccurring situation with the next individual, the next individual, the next individual. Like the video I showed you where my son, like he made, like,
that was dope. Y'all need to get on that.
Right, and I'm seeing. I don't want to say it because I don't want nobody to steal our idea.
Nah, I'm not saying it either. Make it to yourself.
Hold up, by the way, I got 18,000 people on my IG, right?
Oh, what's up?
And they want to know what your music is, something like that, or whatever. So tell them, I do it for here 2 hour cameras as well, but just tell them. With your websites and sit on whatever we go.
So you can catch me on IG. I'm very, very active on Instagram. It's King P Ho. So it's KINGPHO3. You get me on there. All my music right now, I have Holy University. The first album is out on Apple, Tidal, Spotify, wherever you listen to music is there. Holy University sophomore season, the album is done, but what I've just been doing is rolling out singles. So I have Live It Up, that's out right now. I have Hank McCoy that's out on all streaming platforms. I have a record that I'm going to drop. It's like an Afrobeat sounding record. It's called You. That'll be out within the next week or two. And I have merch. As you can see, my Holy University sweater. Got to throw that in the camera. You know, got the HOE on the back. You could contact me for that. Right now I got baseball jerseys. You see me in a baseball jersey at the Beach Fest. Like, so.
Shout out to the Beach Fest.
Yeah, that was fire. It was really dope. So just hit me. Any collabs you want to do? You always click the email. You always
He's the manager.
any collab.
Man, boss is a quiet storm over here, man.
Quiet storm. That's a sniper.
Right. We not at Lover and Dre, man. We're a little bit closer to the street, man. My boy boss, but that's a super manager right there.
All you gotta do is hit that email and send everything
my
over.
Partner, Crime over here, Jack. You know what I mean? Salute. You know what I mean? But that's important though. That was very important because people are like, yo, well, what kind of music you make? Who is he?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So and I want to put that on my page as well. So when they see it, of course, you know it's gonna go inside my own.
And you can listen to old King P.
Yeah.
I want to go back to something that you was talking about a minute ago, and that was generational curses.
Yeah.
So, especially in our communities, and I'm not just saying the black community, but I'm talking about our community, like as far as economically where we're at in America.
Mm-hmm.
We have a lot of generational curses that we have to deal with.
Mm-hmm.
Personally, I think that the actual people are exchanging one curse for another rather than removing themselves from the equation.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
What's your opinion on this?
Yeah, I agree with you wholeheartedly. It's like you go from one vice to the next as opposed to just saying, let me set a new foundation, a new precedent. So therefore, moving forward, for me, like my son doesn't have to worry about it. I'd rather take the blows that I'm taking right now and bear whatever crosses I need to bear in order to fix it. So that way, ultimately, I know how I felt at 8, 9 years old. I know how I felt at 10, 11. I know how I felt at 16, 17. I don't want him to feel like that in any way, shape, or form. You know, so whatever I want to be able to set myself up so whatever he wants to do, if he wakes up today and he says, I want to do this YouTube channel, all right, cool, whatever, do it. Then like 2 months from then, he's like, you know what, I want to be a NASCAR driver. All right, let's figure that out. Like, I want him to be able to like dive into whatever he feels he needs to dive to and do it freely, do it completely freely. And I didn't have that. So I would have to remove myself out of like that generational curse and then view my options so I can see what it is that I can do moving forward to set a different precedent. Because so many people, they'll say, yeah, I got rid of this. But then you kind of like, for lack of a better term, sell your soul to do some nonsense. And you kind of creating a whole new curse. And you're not realizing that. So you have to, in the midst of removing one thing, pick something else up, but make sure that what you're picking up is positive. Make sure what you're picking up is something that's going to benefit not just you, but your future generations. You know, like, whether it be, even if you don't have a child, like your future generations, your bloodline is going to be passed around some way, somehow. So you got to pay attention to that. And that's like very key to me. So, I mean, the fact that not only did I have a son, I mean, like not only did I have a child, but I have a son, he's my legacy. No matter what, like I could die today. Yeah, I got like my Holy University stuff. Like my name is out there, but he will continue to like push everything. And so you gotta set the foundation where it's different. So with me saying, express yourself, explain how you feel, this. Now he can pass it on. You know, so even if it just started by like when they say with the you have like a small snowball, and then by the time it gets down like the mountain, it becomes like this huge avalanche. So if I'm the snowball, so be it. Like whoever ends up being the avalanche, I'm happy with that. You know, everybody wants to be the avalanche. You can't. Like it got to start somewhere. It has to start somewhere. So I don't mind being that sacrificial lamb. It's starting with me. But once it's started in a positive way, I feel like it's just gonna flow positively.
Got a question. Okay, so we're still talking about generational curses. Me, myself, I think that a big issue and a big problem and something that actually causes a lot of these things that we consider generational curses is two things. The first thing is a slave mentality.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people are still stuck in the slave mentality.
Yeah.
And I think the second thing, which is just as important, if not more important, is the misunderstanding of how to teach a child confidence.
Yeah.
I think a lot of times people, they think that they're trying to they're trying to force their child to have confidence, when in reality, confidence isn't something that you have to tell people you have. Confidence is something that's evident in somebody that knows what it looks like. If somebody doesn't know what confidence look like, they're going to see confidence as arrogance. They're going to probably see confidence as somebody shying away from something, because sometimes confidence tells you, you know what, this isn't something I want to be involved in. So what is your position on this?
Yo, what I mean, you hit it on the head. Like, as you're saying it, I'm just like, yeah, you're right. Because, again, you projecting your fear onto someone else. So, whereas I'm a hip-hop artist, right? Instantly, you feel like you would want your son to be in the limelight. Yo, make music. But maybe he's not supposed to. Right. So now the things that he really wants to do, he feels like, I can't bring it to my dad, because he's gonna look at me like, nah, why you doing that? So now you instantly took out whatever confidence he has in probably wanting to be an astronaut, because like, well, damn, daddy wants me to be an artist. I can't be that. So I don't even want to talk to him about my astronomical ideas. Like, so that's one big thing. It's the projection of the fear. And if I didn't make this, if I wasn't able to do this, you got to do it. Shoot, I wasn't able to play basketball. You got to be a basketball player. No, Dad, I don't want to. But he's not going to come and tell me that, because, again, I'm not instilling that confidence in him to do whatever you want to do. You know, so it's one of those things where, like, when I seen him like doing that, that's been his thing lately. When I seen him, like, you know, building those things that we're not going to talk about, right? Yeah. I was proud, because in this era, everything is electronical. So for him to get up and just sit here and say, I'm gonna actually use my hands and use crafts and use things that are in the house to create fun. He has video games.
You might have an engineer on your hands.
Right. But again, if I'm like on some, you gotta be an artist. You think he gonna come to me and say, oh, Dad, like, yo, I might want to get like this scientific kit to do XYZ? Nah. So I already took away his confidence. Yeah, right. So that's what you just said was completely major. All I'm doing is just like elaborating on it, but you hit it right on the head, because you're taking that away from them instantly. Because when you're 8, 9, like, and especially him being a boy, he's gonna look at Daddy and be like, okay, well, shoot, if I'm not emulating what he does, then I'm probably not living right. Nah, do what you want. Do exactly what you want. Like, and I watch him. He'll shine in different instances. We'll go to kids' parties, and I'll just sit back and I'll just look, and he's just like killing it. Like, they do dance competitions, all that. I'm just like, he might be a dancer. Like, he really might. Cool. Like, if that's something you want to do, cool. But I'm not going to take that away from you. Yeah. I'm not. And that's why I said, me growing up, it was just one of those things. Like, my mom used to yell at me, get off the computer. You over here making beats. That's not paying bills. It can.
No, it's funny. All of the people that was like, stop playing them video games. You're running the electricity up. We know the electricity was not getting ran up now. What about that?
Right.
So they'd be like, yo, get off of the video games. You're running the electricity up. They just got some kid that wanted
$3 million.
$3 million
for Fortnite.
Right? For Fortnite. That's crazy.
I'm about to give my son a controller, play video games. But it was just fact. Like, it was like even when my mom told me something the other day, and I'm not even gonna lie to you, it like rubbed me the wrong way. I love you though, mommy. She was like, well, you know, when you're on and when you're popping, I'm gonna make sure I'm there saying, like, I always believed them. I'm like, Ma, but you didn't though. Like, let's not lie. Please don't do that. I love you, mommy. I do. Like, my mom knows she got a house. Like, the moment I'm on, she got a house. That's cool. But I'm gonna need you to be truthful. I'm gonna need you to.
She wants you to say she's the real MVP. How you call her out like that?
Because that's my mom. She raised me to be very outspoken. I don't mind. So it's.
She's gonna hear this and cheer. Like, yeah, that's my boy. Keeping it a buck. She gonna be like, she gonna look like, oh damn, he right though.
It's gonna cost you down the line though.
Hey, look. I throw
a house is turned into a house.
I throw an extra bedroom into that house. You good though? Pool. I'm like, Ma, you good now, right? You good? She's like, you right. But it's just the reality of it. It's like when she was yelling at me saying, get off the computer, like, it's not going to make any money. That's because she's projecting her fears on me. Because, like, my mom, like, she used to do photography. She was a dancer. And, like, she had me, slowed it down, you know. So it's just like, damn, I can't do that anymore in a sense. Nobody's saying you can't, but you told yourself you can't, because now at this point, I got to do XYZ for my child, right? So instantly, well, you're creative. Mom, like, you're a creative. You're giving birth to a creative. You don't think I'm gonna be a creative? You know what I'm saying? Like, my father had a gift of gab. So everything that they were, like, was poured into me. So when it comes to dancing, that's limelight right there. Gift of gab, it went into wordsmith. So look at how it came together. So the way I command attention on stage, the way I speak, the way I articulate myself, the way I write, it just becomes like that's from you guys. So how do you basically stifle what you didn't get to do because of circumstance? Nah, let's water that plant.
That's a fact.
Nah, but you make sense.
Feed that wolf.
Because he
That's
got
a
me
fact.
sitting and wondering, damn, did I ever tell my son to not do something, to do something else?
Right? No, right.
Because
And
you don't think about it.
You
It's
don't.
something that probably happens naturally. Like,
Without even you realizing.
Because you-
I also introduced sports to him. He's into science.
right.
But I don't think I ever told him to not. But now that he's saying, I'm like, damn, that
Body language is important.
Yeah.
Also. It's a
yeah.
fact.
Like even when I'm tired, like, and you gotta also look at what you put your energy into.
Makes
So if
sense.
you're quicker to say, don't do that, but then in the same token, you're not as quick to get up and be like, oh, when he's like, he'll call me and be like, Dad, look at what I made, and I'm gonna say, all right, whatever. He's looking at it like, damn, so you quick to bash me, but I'm trying to show you this, and you don't even want to look at it with that same energy.
That's a fact.
You know, and this is something that I'm learning because I'm starting to reflect at what I didn't have.
Copy.
You know, so, and I'm glad that I'm learning it now because I would hate by the time he's a teen and he's just like, yo, like, out here, daddy, like, you ain't never hold me down or nothing like that. You ain't never take the time to get to know me. And granted, that's your child. Like, you, as that being your child, you think it's just like you instantly supposed to know them. You don't.
That's a fact.
That is a whole individual that has different thoughts and everything. And I'm learning that as I watch him talk to me, I'm just like, when he uses certain words, I'm like, yo, where you learned that from? You know, but it's just like you really have to sit here and allow them to be. And you gotta allow that individual to be, and that also comes from self-reflection. So you see how you saying like, damn, like yo,
Yeah.
like you might want to probably make that phone call, like yo, let me ask you a question. Did I ever kind of like subconsciously like stop you from doing something? I mean, he might be like, nah, Dad, you know, that one time I wanted this kaleidoscope and you definitely copped me some like cleats. I ain't want to, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's just like, you got to be
I
willing.
call him and pick him up. I'm like, yo, let's take a ride. We're going to ride right now.
There we go.
I asked him, like, yo, like, have you ever tried to show me a dream or something? And I'm kind of like, try to push in another direction. Yeah, so I apologize. I'm going to talk to him. Could you learn?
That's a fact.
You know?
That's the toughest thing too. Parents do not like we're not wrong, right? Allegedly, we're not wrong. Like, you know how many things would change if my parents, I don't even want to just hit into my mom, even down to my dad. Like if they were just like, yo, my bad. Like you probably had a right idea there. I apologize for that.
When people you love apologize, that does go a long way.
It does.
And I think people don't realize that. Like sometimes somebody could apologize that you don't really care for, and it's not a big deal. You don't really care for them.
Right.
But then when individuals that apologize that you have love for or that they're important to you, that's a big thing. And I think a lot of times parents sometimes they don't want to admit being wrong because in their mind they have to be perfect for their child. In reality, if you're not trying to be perfect for your child all the time and trying to make it look like you're perfect, you're always going to be a better parent.
Yeah, and you lose that that power of me being your parent, you know. But like I've started to realize, the more you humanize yourself, like the better it looks.
Yeah.
You know, I don't mind telling my son like, yo, listen, man, I'm having a terrible day right now. You know, like, cause I am, and I'll break it down and I'll tell him why, and then he'll give me advice, and I'll look at him. I'm just like my son told me a day, quit a job. He said, Daddy, it's not making you happy. 7 years old. He said, Daddy, it's not making you happy. Quit your job. It's like, it's okay. You're going to get a new one. Like, just quit your job. You're not happy. And then I started, and like, I internalized. I'm like, okay, he's looking at it like, it's not making you happy. So by it not making you happy, you acting some way towards me. I don't like that. You know what I mean? And he's not going to be able to articulate that fully, but you could kind of see like the gears moving. So it was just, and I quit my job. Kid you not, quit my job. 2 months later, got a new job, way better. And I looked at him, and I went to him, and I'm like, you're right.
I'm gonna tell you something. That's probably the most high speaking to you. I'm gonna ask it. It probably was. The
Yeah,
most high speaking
yeah.
to your children.
I've said that all the time. So I went right to him. I told him, thank you. I'm just like, you were right. You know, but parents don't do that. They don't.
Okay, so we're about to close it out, right? But before we go, I want to ask you a question, right? So I used to watch this show called Living Color. And they had a skit where they had a West Indian family and everybody had like 8 or 9 jobs. Is that true?
Yeah. Yeah, it is. Like right now, like I got like 3 hustles, like selling merch, I bartend, like I work with the mentally ill, like that's 3 things, and then me being an artist, that's one that you hope to obviously elevate it to knock everything else out the park. But so that's like 4 things already, and then of course I'm a dad. That's 5, right?
That is the most.
That's 5. So I'm back. I mean, it is true. It's true. But one of the biggest things that I've started to realize in the past couple of months is sometimes that all those hustles equate to nothing if you're not like eternally happy. You got to take the time out to like have self-care and self-preservation, because I could say and I could bust my tail for forever and still not set the foundations that I'm supposed to set. So yeah. So I'll if I don't feel like going somewhere, I don't go. If I don't feel like waking up, like if I don't feel like going to work, I'm not going. Like my manager, I'll call him like, yo, you're not at work.
The look you just gave him when he said you're not going to work.
Nah, no, because he I'll hit him with my, yo, you're not at work. He's like, I ain't feel like going today. And sometimes you kind of want to set yourself up around, because that's a different type of energy. That's right. That means like I'm running my life. My job not running me. And that sets a whole different tone for everything that comes to you afterwards. That's so right. Yeah, but it's true though. It's true.
So what do you want, if you got one last thing that you want to say just about yourself, about your movement, about what you about and what you're trying to do, what would that be?
Follow me on IG, 1, because that is, I feel like you get way more of seeing me. Just stay holy.
What's your IG?
King P Ho. King P Ho, KINGPHO3. Copy. Follow me, I follow back, I talk back, and just stay holy. And by stay holy, I mean stay humble over everything.
Humble over everything.
Yeah, man. Appreciate you for having me.
Appreciate you.
I'm about to go get some water and some snacks.
You said it's King P.